Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ep.3 of the B.A.D Collection podcast. My guest today is a wonderful friend that I met while I was in acting school, Nicola Gledhill. I hope I said your last name right, girly. I'm sorry if I didn't. But I miss and love you so much. Her and I weren't roommates, but we lived next door to each other, always hung out and chatted about whatever. And it was just a great time, and she's such a wonderful person. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And as always, like, comment, and share.
Well, hi there, my friend.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hang on. I'm sorting something out.
Oh,
Aha,
no.
there we go.
Oh
Hi,
my
how you
God,
going? Huh?
you look so good.
Oh my god, dude. Stop.
How are you?
I am spectacular. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you had to
Good?
do it. It's been like I don't know. It's weird not like because we lived across from each other at the dorm, so it's like so weird now like not seeing you every day in a sense
I
because I
was
talk
literally thinking that.
too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Adrian, you. It's so
I
crazy.
know. We used to just be like, wait, this is happening. Do you guys have a fry pan? Do you guys have this? What are you guys doing?
Exactly. I do.
Or
I do
like if
miss New York and stuff. Like I miss school, honestly.
I surprisingly do as well,
It's
which is
yeah.
weird because I was talking to Elias the other day
Uh-huh.
and I was like, look, stuff in my CBA, but at the same time, I'm so thankful for them because I've learned so much and I've met so many freaking awesome people and from all over the globe. I was talking to my grandparents earlier and I was like, oh, yeah, it's my friend over in Switzerland, it's my friend over in the States, it's my friend over in England. Yeah, it's totally normal.
I know it's weird because I also didn't like expect a lot of international kids going into the school, and I didn't even realize that they had like so many people internationally apply there. So it was really cool to see like all walks of life there too. So because and I think I told you this before, I love accents. So like literally hearing you talk right now, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I love accents so much.
Me too. I love hearing them. So even going over to the States and seeing all these other international people and then Americans, I'm sitting there like,
Right?
oh
Right?
my god. Yeah, just like, I'm like, oh yeah, I've graduated. Every time someone's like, oh, how's New York? Like, did you come home because of COVID? I'm just like, well, obviously. And then they're like, oh, do you have to do online classes? I said I did, but I graduated. And they're all just like, oh my god, really? I'm like, yeah, what can I say? Like, I'm an actress now.
That's such a mood. Yeah, because like a lot of my other friends and family, they're still like, oh my gosh, you're done already? And I'm like, yeah, it was only 2 years and it went by so fast.
Honestly, it's gone by so quickly and back
Right?
to
Right?
COVID.
I agree. Yeah, it's very weird being home, but I like it. But then I'm also, like I
Yeah.
said before, like now that we're out of school, it's nice, but I'm also ready to like go live on my own. But
I'm
with
ready
what
to be an
money?
adult. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that on a personal level.
Mm-hmm. What have you been up to like since spring break basically and we went online?
I tell you what, I'm so pissed off about spring break. I was going to bloody Barbados.
Oh.
I know, freaking Brittany and I and Alize, we were all gonna fly over to Barbados because Brittany's from there. So we're
Uh-huh.
like, why not? We've got a friend who's literally from a holiday destination. Hell yeah, let's go. And then her mum was like, actually, probably not a good idea. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't like that. And then Dad's like, come home. And I'm like, okay,
I
we're going
can't.
over, right? But I came home and kind of just relaxed for that first month or something, and kind of just like got back into the groove of things. And like, I mean, I hate saying it because I feel like such an idiot, but like I'm unemployed at the moment, and I don't know when I'm coming back over to the States, and a freaking international travel ban's lifted. Please soon, anytime. Please, Australia, lift it soon.
Right.
So, like, I'm meant to be moving in with Jewel and Brad and all that in Jan, and to LA. So,
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot.
it's gonna be hackers. But you know, backstage has been really great at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
Especially all their work from home stuff. They're like, thank you
Right.
so much.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's so much that's like, there's so many things going out, and so many of the projects that, well, obviously I can't do because I'm international in a different country. They're like postponing it until next year or later on or something, and you're like, oh, I have a chance here. Okay.
Yep.
It's so good. But other than that, my family comes up north every year. So like June, July, we come up to a little place called Woolgoolga, which is just above Coffs Harbour. And we came up here a couple of weeks ago, and then I went back home, and home's cold and miserable and crappy. I love the cold weather, but you know, at the same time, no. So I was like, Dad, I'm going to drive back up here again. It's like an 1,100 kilometer drive, but like I climbed all the way back up here. So I just like set up my ute and everything and just set off, and then I'm like, now I'm at the beach and the weather's warm, I'm sunburnt, and it's great.
That's how I would feel. Because, well, I was actually looking up stuff with my mom because when I was trying to figure out how to set this up with you, because the time zones are completely different.
Yeah.
You're like in winter right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're still in summer. So like it's so weird how different like it is in Australia and it is here. It just blows my mind. And it's just like the littlest thing that just still blows my mind. I think that's crazy.
Like we're in two different countries, and yes, everything's different, but we're literally the exact opposite.
Yep.
So like this place up here where we're staying, their winter is like not even a winter. It doesn't happen. Like it's a place in like Florida or something. Like it just doesn't get cold. So so we're just like chilling here in the sun, and Dad's home with like 3 layers of tracky pants on and a jumper and a jacket. And he's like, and I'm just like, I've got shorts and everything on.
I'm doing the sun. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, have you been watching anything, rewatching anything? Has there been like a particular actor, actress you've really like been keeping up to date with as far as like social media or just watching them a lot more?
Dude, that's like my daily life. All I do.
Pretty much me.
I think it was. Go.
No, I was just saying that's pretty much me too. Like if I'm not working, I'm either with family or friends, or I'm literally laying around rewatching The Vampire Diaries for the millionth time. So.
Oh
Right? I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched that show. I don't know what it is. I just love it.
And like I feel like every time you watch it, because there's so many storylines in it, you still get surprised. You're like, oh my god, I forgot that happened. Oh wait, how did it end?
Every time. And I still cry every time. Every time.
Go away. Dad rang me. Go away.
Rang me.
Vampire Diaries is just like a go-to. I really want to start rewatching again, because I feel like when you rewatch stuff from the start, it's so much more fun.
It is.
You're like, oh my god, this is how it all started. Look at them now.
Right? Like,
yeah, my best friend, she watches it. Yes, she watches it and she's always watched up to season 7 because she's like, I don't want to admit that it's over. So she watches like half of season 8 and then she just ends it. And I'm like, can you watch it? Because I have to talk to someone about the final episode. She's like, oh yeah, I know what happens. I said, okay, so you would rather find out what happens in the final episode of TVD on like social media rather than watching it?
Right?
It's over, dude. Like it won't happen. Like just watch it.
Just
And
watch
like,
it. It's literally, it's done now. Like there's no expansion on it, honestly, like at all, except for Legacies. But even then, it doesn't build off of that. It doesn't even really build off the originals. Like it's a completely different spinoff now, just like the originals too. And like when you don't have somebody to talk about with it, it's so like it's so frustrating because I've been like I go to conventions. I love going to conventions, and like I've met some of the Vampire Diaries cast already, and like I hate
you so much.
Come with me next year. That's what my ticket's for.
I will, even if I'm not allowed in the country visa-wise. I'm saying to Dad, I'm flying. What is it, like 22 hours just so I can go to Comic-Con with Bryn and just see the Vampire Diaries.
Exactly. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I will give you information after this. So, but it's so worth it. Like, I've met well, some of the photos are back here. I've met Jeremy, Tyler, Damon, Stefan, Rebecca, Klaus, Elijah, Matt, Cole, Bonnie,
I love Kat Graham.
Enzo. Oh, Kat Graham's lit. I love Kat Graham.
She's like a goddess.
She is. Don't even get me started.
I gave her permission to look that good.
She is the sweetest human being ever. Like her, okay, so Caroline was originally supposed to come to the first one that I went to, and then she canceled. So I only got her photo op. And then I went to go back in to get Bonnie's, Kat Graham's, and it was sold out. I was like, why? And then she admitted, I went to her Q&A and I got her autograph so I could at least talk to her and like meet her and stuff. But the convention, they're a little bit more strict with certain things. Like, so you can't take selfies with them at the table. They only do the photo ops, which is, it's not the worst thing, but it's also like, why? Kind of, because at every other one that I've went to, they always did selfies at the table. So I don't know if they do that because like to save time, because the autograph lines, such a fun thing. Like any Comic-Cons, they're always fun to go to. You like, I've made friends that I've been close with for like 8 years now, just going to these. Yeah. I have a really close friend, Erica. My first big Comic-Con that I went to in Kentucky, we met there. We didn't exchange any contact information, nothing. She finds me on Twitter because an actor that we met, his name's Chandler Riggs. He like either liked or retweeted our like pictures or whatever that we posted online. And then she just friended me, and I found out that she only lives like 45 minutes away from me. Like, what is the it's like the biggest coincidence ever. So I've been best friends with her.
The way the world works is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
I know. I love going to them. So like I said, I will give you more information if you're down. And then I like kind of laugh at myself because I'm an actor and I could easily work with any of these people. Meanwhile, I spend hundreds of dollars on meeting them. But I love doing it. I've been doing it since I was 13. And yeah, I've been going to them since I was 13. I've traveled to New Jersey, even before, like I've been to New Jersey, New York before I came to school. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Georgia. I've been to Ohio. Like I've went to multiple. Like I've been to over 15, I'd say now.
15 in 7 years.
I don't know where I get my moolah, but I'm not mad about
I
it.
was thinking that. I was like, I don't know how you're affording that, but you
It's like, well, and when I was younger, it was easier because that's all I would save for.
Yeah.
So it was easier for me to be like, okay, I have $200 some, or like I would make a deal with my parents, like, okay, you buy these 2 photo ops and then I'll pay for those 3 and I'll give you the money for it. And I would be working, so like all my paychecks would go straight to that. So that's literally like the only reason why it worked out.
Yeah. Because you weren't an adult and you didn't have to pay a lot of other things.
And that's where I get depressed.
And that's, they wonder why adults are depressed. Really? You were wondering? I could give you like 20 different reasons.
I can't afford anything.
I want this cheesecake, but I can't get it because it's $2 extra.
Me at Key Foods when I was trying to get food and I wanted to treat myself. Let's get some cheesecake. Oh, it's $10. I can't get it.
Oh god, you know what's bad when we can't treat ourselves $10.
Well, and then it kind of was like easier when I worked, but it's still like it was still hard. Like New York is very expensive.
Yeah, $1 pizza all the way.
$1 pizza was my place. Like when I had cash, I was like, $8, let's go get a pie.
Honestly, I remember the first day I walked in there.
This is so unhealthy, but it's literally the best pizza you could ever eat.
It's so good. It's so cheap. It's so handy. I remember I went with Jewel and I was like, what's a pie? I was like, an actual pie? Like, why would we buy a pie? Like, that's just ridiculous. And she was like, no, like a full pizza. Anyway, I was like, oh, righto, well, let's grab that. So anyway, we grabbed it and I was like, oh my God, that's huge. That's like an extra large from back home and it's $8. Heck yeah.
I agree. And I would eat like 4 pieces and like I would share it like Scarlett, me and her, I'd be like, you want to get $1 pizza with me and I'll split it with you? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, great, let's go. And like a lot of times we would just like switch on and off with paying, or like she would just give me money for it. And I miss times like that, like just being able to walk to the $1 pizza, get pizza, and then just sit in the kitchen and talk forever. And like those are just the moments that I miss.
It's so good.
I just want to go back to get $1 pizza.
Honestly, I left half my stuff there in New York because I was like, oh, I'll only go home for a few weeks, then I'll come back and we'll sort it all out and everything. That didn't happen. So Adrian had to pack up all my stuff and take it home with her because Dana made her. So thanks Dana. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll fly over to PA and like I'll pick up my stuff from her and like I'll jet set over to New York real quick, get some pizza, get an acai bowl. Oh, I miss the acai bowls. And then I was like, then I'll fly back over to LA and we'll be fine. And then Adrian's like, oh, I'll ship it back to you. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I guess I won't go back to New York. Ugh. But yeah, oh well.
I'm trying to think what I was about to ask you now. Oh
my God, how dare you?
We like went from what TV shows are you watching, talking about TV shows, all the way to food. I don't know how we ended up there, but I love it.
I know. I was just thinking that, like, yeah, what shows are you watching now? Spicy food. Yeah. Cool.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, like, besides rewatching Vampire Diaries, like me, like, have you been like, okay, one TV show that I've heard a lot about is Outer Banks, and I haven't watched it yet. I know I'm going to watch it eventually, but have you watched it? You said no, right? Yeah, like okay, I'm very weird. If I hear about something a lot and it's very hyped up, like I want to prolong not watching it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to watch it when it's not like super talked about, which is weird.
Yeah.
But then I'll like, I love the After series. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but yes! Yes, oh my gosh, I have another person to talk about this with. Thank you.
Oh my
Okay.
god, so many people hate on it. Oh my god, I can't wait for after.
Who hates on it?
Oh, like Jewel, Adrian, they're like, oh, it's so cliche. I'm like, dude, it's so good. Hero Friends, Tiffin.
I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. That is literally one of the best, like, that book series is one of the best book series I've ever read in my life. One. When the movie came out, I liked the movie, but when I saw like how different it was from the book, I was like, I like it, but
A lot of people
I wish it
did
was
say
more
that.
like, I wish it was more like the book.
Yeah.
And so now seeing all the content for the second movie, I was like, hello, this is Bookessa, Book Harden, Book Tessa. Like, we are getting the book. We are getting the book. Thank you, Anna Todd. Thank you. And then the guy, do you know who Roger Cumble is? The director?
Oh, no.
Have you seen Cruel Intentions?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Okay, so he directed that film as well. So when I heard he was gonna be the director of After We Collided, first of all, I almost like died because I was like, okay, now this is bound to be a good ass movie. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be disappointed, especially with all the content, again, like I said, that's been given. I'm like, can we also talk about how Caroline, aka Candace King, is on this movie? I said she is the perfect Kim. She also never ages. Like, what? Candace, what do you eat? What do you like? What do you use? Like, you literally look like you did when you were in season 1 of The Vampire Diaries, like 12 years ago. Like, what's going on? Hello? Like, tell me, just tell me. I need to know. Because if I don't look that like young when I'm her age, I'm gonna cry because she's gonna have a really long career.
Oh yeah,
for sure. She literally looks like she's
still play a high school girl.
And I know I think she's in her 30s. Yeah, she's in her 30s. I don't know exactly how old she is, but she still looks like she's like she could be finishing college.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my mind. But are you like caught up with all the content that's been out?
Okay, so I'm getting really frustrated with all the content they keep posting because I'm like, okay, you can't keep posting these freaking scenes of it and then wait, you know, a movie's not coming out for another month or 2. You can't do that.
It's so like, okay, like I'll be tweeting stuff about the content and like the official like after count has like liked and replied back to me, and so has the director, but I'm literally like, you can't be doing this stuff to me. Like, my fangirl, like I'm a professional fangirl. That's what I call myself. Like, my fangirl heart cannot deal with this stuff. And they're still coming out with more content. And it's
like they just released the
B.A.D scene. Do you have a release date in Australia for it yet?
Yes, it's in my calendar. I think it is like September 21st or something.
You're so lucky. It comes out before me.
I know, when they released like all the dates and everything, I was like, I couldn't find Australia first. I was like, oh my god, they're not releasing it in Australia. I want to. Oh, this is so terrible. This is horrible. I'm never gonna live again. And then I saw America, and it was like October or November or something.
October 2nd.
I was like, yeah. I know what day it is. I was like, I can't wait that long. And then I found Australia, and I was like, oh my god, we're before America.
I'm jealous. Don't spoil anything, but let me know how it is when you see it, because I like cannot wait. Like, it's genuinely, it's like the most anticipated film of the year for me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like, okay, first of all, Hero and Josephine's chemistry is
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
And like, again, seeing the content that's out, I'm literally like, listen, have you read all the books?
Dude, I don't read.
Oh, girl, neither do I. Don't read a lot either, but like, I read all of them multiple times already. Like, you have to.
Okay.
These books are incredible. Like, again, like, I like reading. I'm not a big reader, but I do like to read. I'm an OG reader. Like, I was reading this when Anna was posting these on Wattpad, and like, I was 13.
Is it about like Harry Styles or something? Like, it's like a fan fiction of Harry Styles.
Yep. And oh my gosh, I just, it's so good. But like, if you like, okay, I'm trying to think of how to explain this.
Okay, let me just breathe. Let me just sort this out.
The books are really good. There's like, it's like coming of age, but also like has a lot of adult like themed things going on it. Like, there's a lot of sex and all that in it. And like, I was 13 reading this stuff. 13. I was like literally about to go into high school. Like, I had just had health class where they just started talking about all this stuff, because I'm that bitch that's like pure innocent. Still. So, and then, oh my gosh, I like watching the trailers and watching these videos. I'm literally sitting there like the whole time, because I'm literally like, what? They did that? What? Like, I give credit to actors like who do like certain types of sex scenes, like 50 Shades of Grey, for example.
That's instantly where my mind went.
Like, and this is just me personally, I'm not comfortable with my body yet. Like, I'm still working on losing weight and getting comfortable with it. And I know a lot of other people struggle with that. But like, and the reason why I keep saying like I give credit to actors that do like any type of sex scene is because like that takes a lot of like, I would say it takes a lot of confidence and being comfortable.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even, being in that position, I would literally be like freaking out, like not knowing what to do whatsoever. I would literally be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me.
Where's your penis again? Is it up here? Is it? Oh, there it is. I got it. Yep. Oh, okay. Now what do I do again?
Like, and I don't know how they film that stuff. Like, and like, I've watched I keep saying like way too much tonight. What is going on?
Everybody says it.
I used to have, like, I had it under control for the longest time. I don't know why it's happening tonight specifically. I'm gonna go back and change that again. But I've listened to a lot of interviews from like Hero and Josephine, like when they were on promo tours and everything, and they were talking about like intimate scenes and stuff like from the first movie. And basically, if I remember correctly how they like said it and everything, they basically said it along the lines is it's like choreographed in a way.
Yeah.
They go and there's not a lot of people like on the set when stuff like that happens, which I guess is a little bit more comforting, but it's also still like, it's just so crazy.
There's people literally staring at you. Like, don't you get that nipple in there? If you get the nipple, maybe a side boob, but dude, your hand better be there at this point, and then you guys roll at the same. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I just, that's why I give credit to people who can do that. So this went on like the longest spiel.
But it's such a good movie though. And like, I did hear that Anna came out and said like that she had so much more directive control and producing control because apparently like the first script or something, it was not very off from the book, but it was very different to the book, and that she wanted it to be more like the book. And as any writer would, like, you're writing, you've put all this time and effort into it, and then they're gonna, you know, change a few things. That's fine for movie wise, blah, 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 but then change like a whole bit of it. You're like, hang on, no. I put in all this time and passion for it, and all the fans want it like the book. Everyone's read it like that. So if you go in and change it, everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Exactly. And even she's gone on to say, like, there's people who just joined from the movie and then they just hopped into the books. Like, there's so many new fans now compared to when she just had the books, or like even once they were going on promo tours for after the first movie, like specifically, like it's insane, like to see all the stuff on the internet and to see how much it's grown and how much more well-known it's become since the films have started. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like so reminiscing to me because I've known about this stuff for so many years. So it's like my little fangirl moment. I'm so excited to see this movie. Like, oh my gosh. You know what? I take a lot of pride in my fangirling because it's so logical.
Es perfecto.
Y'all can make fun of me. It's fine. Pretty grateful in a sense, and like happy that I can contain myself a lot. So like I don't,
because there's definitely some people out there who don't.
I mean, well, some people get a little crazy. Like oh my god.
Yeah. These questions have taken a really interesting turn.
Yep. No, I get, but I love it because we're actually like just enjoying like a deep conversation.
Yeah, and it's like not questions, it's just like one question that has stemmed to other things.
And I love being able to do that. Like, I just love sitting down and talking with people because there's just endless conversations, like, honestly, endless, and I love it. I love it. My next question is, so like, what drove you into doing acting? Like, did you do theater? Have you been on any film sets yet?
Well, so I used to do a dance called calisthenics, which is the Australian kind, not the American. And I started that when I was about 6 and I finished it when I was 18. So like I'd done it for ages. And I'd always had like an interest in movies and like, you know, learning behind the scenes, seeing behind the scenes, the bloopers, and just rather than the entire movie, seeing everything else that happened up into it. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'd love to do that someday. And then I was like, I can actually do that. Let me be that person. So ever since I was like 10, really, I'm like, I want to be an actress. But I never told anyone because like it's such like it's not a far-fetched dream, but it's a really hard one to get into.
It is.
So I didn't really tell. I told my mum when I was about 16. She was like, righto, why don't you just finish high school just so you can have just like a normal childhood or something. I was like, dude, I haven't even gotten in there yet. Calm down. So then once I graduated high school, I took 2 gap years. I took 1 gap year, and then the second year I just worked and worked and worked. Actually, I worked in both. I'm like, and then I was like, no, I actually want to do this. Let me go into it. So I looked into some schools in New York, and I was like, oh, let me apply for these ones. And then I was just about to apply to NYU when I got a call from NYCDA saying, hey, you're accepted. I said, all right, cool, let's go. So yeah, there we go.
Love that. So have you ever worked on any sets yet, or have you, besides dancing, have you ever done like plays or musicals?
I did a few plays. I spat everywhere. I just did a few plays for like for like my local area, city-ish. Like I still do live in a very small town, and like the nearest city is like 30 or 40 minutes away. It's not that big of a city, but anyway, it had like all these plays and everything that I'd do, and I'd like go to do them or something, and then I just did stuff for school as well, so stuff like that. So, but it was always fun. I always loved being on stage, especially as a dancer. Like I hate the attention on me, which is really weird. I hate people like, so if I ever get married, which I doubt will ever happen, I'm literally gonna be like, everyone look at the walls. Like, don't even watch me. I don't want anything to do with that. But then at the same time, I'm like, I love performing. It's so much fun. I was always like in the second row, or like if I was in the first row, I'm like, I'm shitting myself right now. You have no idea, but I'm grabbing my backs.
When I was in high school, I did theater. For a couple years, I did mainly like just behind the scenes, and then I started getting more into the acting part. And I always wanted to be an actress. Like I knew since I was little, like, because I've always loved film. And I knew specifically, like, I wanted to be in film. And I do love theater. I just love movies a lot more. Yeah. And I would definitely go back into theater. But again, I would pick film over theater all the time.
Yeah.
And, so I did a lot of that throughout high school. And then I did one movie. And I'm actually going to film 4 other ones within the next, like, 2 months. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
well, that is so exciting.
I am really excited. I also got an audition off of Backstage for a horror. I can't remember. Okay, so I was reading more into it again, and I'm trying to figure out if it's like a web series or like going to be turned into a TV series. It's like a fan-made series based off of Saw. And I love horror,
okay.
So I was like, hell yeah, we love horror. Let's get it. And so I still have to send in the self-tape, but I'm like super excited about it because again, I love horror. So like for it to be one of my like first real out of school auditions, it's like great because for the millionth time, I love horror. So I'm like, yeah. So, fingers crossed. I hope I get it. But it's just so like overwhelming and scary and exciting to be an actor. I love it.
Yeah, it is. Like so many people say, like it is really hard. Like, and it is like a constant rejection, which is like, if you're okay with the rejection, it's totally fine. You just have to accept it because sometimes you don't look the part, or you could be another part. There's another bit waiting for you. But like doing self tapes and like playing around with stuff, I find is like so much fun. Mm-hmm. And if it's not fun for you, then acting's definitely not the job for you. But
I agree.
Just being creative and thinking, even if like it's such a straight shooting role, like you're a sweet high school girl, even if you can play it quirky or bye Riley, g'day, you just go completely outside. Like she's a bit crazy, she's loud but quiet, instead of it being just like, you know, really mellow, like you just be like or something like that, which is very outside the box, but it's just playing around and finding different means, meeting in the middle and finding what you think works really well for the character.
I agree. Well, and then another thing is like, and this is like one of my pet peeves. It gets under my skin so much when I hear people say this. When you just want to be famous or you just want to make a lot of money, this is something that, like, this career is not something to get into if that's what your main goal is. Like, you have to be passionate about your work. You have to love what you're doing. And you always have to stay humble and, like, remember where you came from. And just, like, be a good person. And if you're just focused on being famous and making a lot of money, it's not the career for you whatsoever. No. It's just not.
No.
And that's just like a huge pet peeve of mine when I hear people say that. I'm like, okay, stop talking
with that.
But my main thing about this career is just that I'm doing what I love and I love what I'm doing.
Yeah. I've always read this thing, which is why I'm so ready for this as well, is because, what are you doing? You're just doing loops. So I read, like, which is why I want to do it so much, because I really do like acting and I love it, and like I just want to do it for the rest of my life. And anyway, I read something that said, if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And it's like always reminisced in me, because like it's true. Like if you literally love what you do, you're like, yes, I get to go to work. Obviously you'll have your crappy days, but you'll be like, yes, good to go. This is going to be so exciting. What else are we going to do today? Especially a job that's going to be different every single day.
Exactly.
Nothing. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, I'm like, I really like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I really do. Cause and that's why, again, like I've said a couple of times already too, like that's why I'm really excited now that we're done with school. Like now we can just go out and be actors.
Yeah.
So it's always a plus being on set. I love being on set. Like literally
Yes.
so much. I love it.
Me too. It's so much fun, and like there's always stuff going on, and everyone's doing their own thing. And
Right?
I know, like even at school, they're like, "Well, there's going to be 1 million people there watching you and everything." I'm like, "Yeah, but they're watching their own thing." If that makes sense. Like especially when we had like process for camera or something, and someone was directed for boom or like directed for lighting or something, like yes, you were watching the people act, but also at the same time you were watching your job, so you were making sure the boom doesn't get in there, there's no shadow of it, how your lighting looks, the cameraman, you're looking like if they stay in the camera, you weren't watching how they're acting. So everyone's like, everybody is sitting there watching you, but like they're also, everyone's so worried about themselves as well, because like they also have to do the same. Like, I don't want to do it really bad. What if I do it really crappy? Oh crap, okay, she did it that way, I kind of like that. Oh, that was kind of bad. Oh, but what if I do it bad? Oh, okay.
No, I agree with you 100%. That is literally what goes through my head every time. I'm really hard on myself. So
Yeah, same.
It's like I could probably do so good, but then I still find something that I didn't
That you
like.
don't like.
But then my teacher's like, no, like you did great. Good job. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't think I did, but thank you. And then they'll say like, stop beating yourself up. Like just take in that you did good work. And I'm like, fine. And then
Fine, I did good.
Yeah, and then eventually I let it go. But it's just like that's one thing I definitely have to work on is just like stop beating myself up over the stupidest things.
But even the fact that you just said like, and then I let it go, because there, I know like especially people who we went to school with, they would hold on. I'm not throwing her under the bus. I mean, every actor says like, you just like, I want it to be good. I don't want it to be phony. I don't want everyone to think, what the fuck was she thinking?
Right.
And she'd be still thinking about it a week later or something. I'm like, yeah, okay, I had a crappy thing. I think this also relies on my crappy memory too. But if I did something bad in class, I'd be, oh, that was so horrible. Why did I think that was a good idea? Or you watch your take back, you're like, what was I thinking? Why did I do that? Why did I put my arm like this instead of down like this? Like I just look like an idiot like that. Like what, you fucking idiot.
No,
But
exactly.
then by the end of but by the end of the class, because it was like 3 hours or after lunch, I just like, what's up? I don't forget about that. And even if someone brings it up, I'm like, oh well, I made that choice, it didn't work. I made that choice, it did work. I made it and it was crappy. Doesn't matter. Moving on.
Right.
Instead of holding it onto it, like, oh, and then letting it affect you more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not the way to go.
Yeah, it's not. I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
You just gotta like trust yourself. And even at school, they said this is the place to make mistakes. I didn't feel like they actually meant that, but even when you get onto set, I feel like there's so much more. Pardon me, I don't have corona. Don't worry. When you get onto set, like if you get comfortable enough with everyone there, the directors, the producers, and everyone there, and then they're just like, play around with it a little bit, or like you make the character, you're directed off what it says in the script, but at the same time you're bringing that person to life. You get to make the decisions, whether they have a tick, whether they don't, whether they always tuck their hair back if they like someone, or whether they walk with a limp or something like that. Like you make the person. So if she doesn't laugh and then at one point you go hee hee, okay, I did. That was very minor, but I'm struggling to find examples at the moment.
No, I get,
so, like, yeah. Just like go out there, be free, make a mistake. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say.
Say it, girl.
Oh yeah, there was a scene that I did, and it was with Alan, and I love Alan dearly, but he kind of scares the bejesus out. Alan, yes, Alan, Steve. And I did it, and he was like, Nicola, I did not believe a single thing you did. And I was like, good, neither did I. And it was just like, you know, when you act and you know it just it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You're like, I feel like such a phony bastard right now. Okay. And then he called me out on it. I said, good, because I wanted to do that again. He's like, do it again. And I was like,
Right.
give me a minute. He was like, all right, you got a minute. And I was like, all right, let's go. And then I did it again. He was like, damn, that was good. And I was like,
Right.
thanks, Alan.
You're right.
Like your dad saying, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, it's a good feeling, like, when you do hit it, like, when you do get it. So, but then it's like, you know, when something's not right.
Yeah.
Which means you're in tune, like, with your body and what's going on, which is a good thing.
My instrument.
Zen.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
I miss being next door neighbors and me walking in, you being like, just like making some food. I'm like, hey, what smells good?
Smells
What
good.
you
Can we just
making?
chill and talk? Like, yeah, come here. I'm just making some dinner.
I'd always walk in and you were like sitting on the table, like watching a show or something, and Scarlett was like right next to you on her phone as well, and you guys were just eating, and I'm just like, hey, what's going on, everybody?
It's nice. Like, it's nice to have neighbors like that. Like, just to be able to like come and hang out whenever and just talk.
People who were just like, yeah, like I'm totally cool if like they come over to my house or if I go over to their house or apartment, whatever. But stuff like that, you know, in compared to other neighbors or roommates.
Did that other one die?
What?
Did that other
yes.
headphone die?
It beeped before, so I put this one away because I'm like, oh, I'll charge that one, and then I'll swap and charge that one.
Yeah, there we go. That's a pretty smart idea. There you go. Being proficient.
Exactly.
Yes. Here we go. Well, Nicola, my last, not question. It's kind of a question. But what I've been doing with other alumni that I've been talking to that I thought would be a little
alumni.
Fun. Yeah, like, right? That's a little fun twist that I thought I could add to this, is we could typecast each other.
Oh my God. Okay.
So because you're my guest of honor, I will let you go first.
Okay. Oh my God. Typecasting. Oh my God. This is so scary. Okay. Okay. You could definitely be an older sister, whether it be a really bitchy one or a really nice, supportive one. That's a good thing to have. You could definitely play a mum.
Okay. I'm like the mom of all my friend groups. Like, I take care of everybody. And like, I love doing that though. Like, I'm a very caring and kind person, but then like there's that but like you said, like how there's like I could also be the bitchy sister, like yeah.
Oh my God, you could. I feel like everyone's capable of so much. You could literally be playing so much. You could be like the little Christian one that walks around that everyone picks on, or like the nice, kind friend in the group that like everyone underrates, but like she's so cool secretly, and like she's so kind and caring, would do anything for anyone. Oh my God, am I just explaining Bryn? What?
You're just explaining Bryn.
You could so be a teacher or like a high authority woman. You could. Have you seen
I need to be stopped with my quirks, like I just do the randomest shit all the time, and I'm like, Bryn, no.
What are you doing, sweetheart?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, have you met me? That's all I do. Someone's talking to me, I'm like, hey,
honey,
what's for lunch?
Honey, calm down.
I like that. Don't move. The shot looks perfect. But yeah, no, you could definitely play like a really nice, sweet person. Like, oh, like in Duff.
The Duff.
The Duff. Not that you were the designated ugly fat friend. You were like the complete opposite of it. But
Thank you.
right, enjoy your fishing, mate. But you could like just like you're so kind and helpful. Like I'm really basing this off your personality, but like really into like movies and all that jazz. But then at the same time, you're like, I love your book. Let's go do this. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let me wear my what did she call it? My party shirt. Honey. That maybe a Gina Rodriguez character. I reckon you could.
Okay.
I reckon you could fall into the same line as her. So if you ever see her in a waiting room, freak the fuck out because you two are definitely in competition. Do you know who Gina Rodriguez is?
Mm-hmm.
You don't, or you do?
No, I do.
Oh Jesus! I was about to flip out. I'm like, dude, you've never seen Jane the Virgin?
No, I know who she is. She's okay. First of all,
God.
She's beautiful. Second of all, she's funny and just amazing. And third,
yeah.
Well, technically fourth because I listed two things at once. Like, to be compared to her, like I like being compared to other actors is just so humbling and honoring to me.
Yeah.
Because like, damn, thank you. You know?
Yeah. No, I feel that. Definitely. Freaking, oh my God.
That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But you could easily definitely play a kind, sweet person or an evil biatch.
A very sweet person or an evil biatch?
Yeah.
That's a good
You could play the fun auntie. Or a cop. You could totally play a cop.
All right, Nicola.
Okay. Yeah.
I can see you in I can definitely see you in rom-coms. 100%.
Everybody says that.
No, like you just have like this cute little quirky look to yourself, and like you would be like the cute little like sweet nerdy girl who like gets the guy at the end, but like everybody picks on for like the majority of the movie, and then you get the guy, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God," and you're like,
"Fucking doll."
Well, not like that, but like you're like, I got the guy.
I was myself, and I got the man.
And I can also like genuinely see you playing like a cop, but you would definitely be the rookie.
I'm sure. I'd be holding the gun backwards, being like, "Yo, stick him up."
But like I can see you doing it in like an action serious perspective.
You could or couldn't?
Could.
Oh, that's so exciting. Mm-hmm. I reckon action would be so much fun. I love like choreographing and you're like fighting someone. You're like pew 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 pew.
And then I could also I can see you doing period pieces too.
Period. Oh,
you thought I meant like period.
I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, she's talking about like 1900s, you dickhead.
Oh.
You should have seen my Shakespeare monologue for Eileen.
I can see you doing roles from either the 20s or like the 80s.
Oh, I love the 80s. Oh.
I can see you doing either the 20s or the 80s for sure.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I could definitely see you doing period pieces as well. I feel like you're such like not an old soul, but like an old soul.
No, yeah, I feel like I am too. Like I'm not like I watch a lot of older like films and stuff. I like a lot of older films, and I listen to like all types of music. I'm not very picky on like what I watch. Like I'm open to a lot of stuff. So that's I feel like that also like helps and adds to me being like an old soul.
Yeah. Because even at school, like you weren't really one to be like bitchy or like always partying or anything. You're like, I'm totally cool to stay in my room and go to bed at 7:30 tonight.
Yeah, like I like
but
being
then again, you
social,
had
but then, like,
midnight work.
That too.
She's
12
like,
a.m.
yep.
to 8 a.m.
Woohoo!
It was always a party, let me tell you. Not in a good way though, because I wasn't the one partying. But it was a special time when I worked.
I don't even know how you did it. I remember you'd like be leaving for work, and I'm just like, okay, have fun.
And then the next morning, like you'd be leaving for class while I'm walking back in.
I'm like, how was work? And you're like, good, bye. Just like go back to bed.
I'm going to sleep now. And like there were times where I didn't go to sleep. I don't know how I did it.
Yeah.
But I did it because I had to do work.
Yeah, exactly.
So
no, I feel that. I did that similar to when I came back to Australia. We had to do classes over Zoom, but because of the time difference, it was midnight to 8 a.m. Yeah. So
wow.
I would try and sleep beforehand, but I knew I had to wake up in like 3 hours or so. So I'm like, I can't get to sleep. So then I'm waiting there. And then everyone's messaging me like, are you ready for class? You ready for class? I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. Please shush. And then I'd go to bed after it because like the sun was coming up. So I'd go to bed for like an hour or two. I'd get up and be like, woo, what are you doing today?
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure
I'm
your
so
sleep
delusional.
was like nuts though.
It was, but it wasn't too bad. Like it only lasted for 2-3 months or so. That wasn't too bad. I loved it. It was so much fun. I loved doing it. I love like the weird hours that you get to do, especially as an actor. It's like, oh, we need you on set from like 7 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. and then we need you to come back at 8 a.m. Like, sure, no worries. That's so much fun.
Right.
Let's do it.
It's just so, like every aspect about it is just so cool and I love it.
Yeah.
So
I love every single bit about it, even the really weird, uncomfortable, crappy parts of it. I love it all.
Yeah. Hey, honey. Okay, the last thing I can think of right now is you would be like the hype friend. Like you would hype everyone up and you would be like, no, we're going to the party. Like, let's go. Get ready. Like, I'm doing your makeup. Type of gal.
I would so be that friend. I am that friend.
You are.
Like,
you really are. Because I remember being at parties and like coming around you and you're like, Brittany, you look so good. And I'm like, what's up, girl? Well, Nicola, I'm so happy you got to do this again.
I'm so happy I got to do this again. I'm going to come visit you when I come over.
Please.
Pittsburgh. I can't wait to see, like, I love knowing people in different countries and then you go see them and you get to see like all the nooks and crannies, or not nooks and crannies, but like you don't see the touristy bit. Like we were going to fly to France to see Alizé, but we were also going to drive over and see Elias in Switzerland. That sounds so cool.
It does sound
and like
cool.
Doesn't it? And like Alizé, she's lived in France her entire life, so she knows like all the back things and like where to go and everything, as has Elias. Cliche things like you can see the Eiffel Tower, you can see the chocolate in Switzerland. I don't know what's in Switzerland. But you can also see like all the little towns and little things, especially when you go to Pittsburgh. Like when I went with Adrian to Westchester, I got to see Westchester and like other little places that you don't see as a tourist, especially in New York. Like I got to go to Albany and Queens and like Bronx and like see all like other places in it.
Right. Exactly. I love that too. I love traveling. It's definitely one of my favorite things, for sure.
Me bloody too. So when you get a chance, definitely come over to Australia.
Sounds good. Well, Nicola, thank you again. I can't wait to see you soon. And of course, I'm going to be Snapchatting you and stuff. So I will talk to you soon. Much love.
Yes. Goodbye. Stay safe.
Bye. Of course. See ya.